All right, so I'm with Cody. What's your last name, Cody?
Davis.
Where are you out of, Cody?
Seattle.
Seattle, Washington. He was at the
Real estate guys.
Yeah,
event.
the real estate guys conference, and basically tell us a little bit about your story.
Started investing into real estate. First person in my family to get out and jump into this space at 19 years old. Fast forward 2.5 years later, got a little over 100 apartment units that I bought all with seller financing, no bank loans.
So this dude's wicked smart. In fact, he was hosting a roundtable where we basically went to go see, and he's the youngest guy at the event, probably owns more properties than most guys at the event. And the cool thing is he did it with all seller financing. How'd you do it?
The main key piece that I had to go out and do is not try and buy any real estate. I found that if I'm ever looking for a girlfriend, I never found one. When I stopped looking, I found one, and it's been the same with real estate. So instead of going out and trying to buy a bunch of deals, I went out and met the people in the market I wanted to be invested in that actually own the real estate, because they're the most knowledgeable people in any given market. It's the people who own the real estate because they actually know how to go out and buy it. And coming from a family without any real estate background, I had to go get some mentors. And so what happened was I went out, tried to book coffee meetings to learn people's stories, because I found stories are pretty powerful. And through that, I was able to learn where they came from, where they were going, what it felt like when they actually accomplished their goals. They gave me some action items that I could go out and apply, and that allowed me to actually go out and buy real estate from a handful of different owners.
So the big question is, what are those items that you learned? Like, I know when we were talking at the table, the cool thing that I took away, my big takeaway from your table was, I'm big into skip tracing. You know what skip tracing is, obviously, but you didn't pay for it. How did you find the properties? So let's talk to that, because I think that's a really important thing that most people don't even have any idea how you did that.
Yeah, so there's this magical map online that has every property you could ever buy. It's called Google Maps. And everything that I do, I try and keep so simple that anybody can repeat it. When you complicate stuff, it becomes less repeatable. So what I do, I find properties with big roofs on that aerial view of Google Maps. You just click satellite, you can see every property. You go to tax assessor, figure out who owns it, type in their name and then the city they live in, and you can find their phone number. And you can do this for anybody. I've done it for A-list celebrities, and I've done it for average owners in the markets I buy in.
So what was that trick though on Google that you said that really worked, and how you found the actual phone number? Because that was like something that I never heard before, and I've spent a lot of money on skip tracing, using TLO, using whitepages.com, Property Radar.
Yeah.
But you did it for free.
Yeah, so typically their number will pop up if they're just an average property owner. But let's say you're getting into more famous people that have more unit count. Typically, if you put in their name and their city and then you put in phone number, it'll pull up the area code and then it'll pull up 4 digits of their phone number. Well, if you copy and paste their name with the digits that it gives you, if you figure 3 plus 4 is 7 digits, it'll give you the last 3. And you can get all of this for free. You can do it for anybody.
That is like critical information right now. So you Googled their name, you Googled the address, you found out who it was, and it'd give you the number, but it wouldn't give you the last 4 of their number. So then you put the number in, it gave you the number, but it blacked out the last 4 of it. So you had the first 7 digits, you put that in with their name, and then hit Google again. And then
it gives you the last few digits. And I've done that with A-list celebrities, people that if I said their name, everybody here would know.
That is the ultimate real estate hack. I'm gonna use it. If you're, let's talk more about that. So then, once you got the phone numbers, what did you go from there?
Well, the first thing is I gotta make a phone call. And I am a true believer when you're making any call or you're booking a meeting, you need to have an objective going in and a takeaway coming out. That keeps you highly intentional. And so when I'm making this phone call, my objective is to book a coffee meeting, because there's no amount of things I could say, there's nothing I could say or anybody could say that's gonna generate enough interest to where they'll teach me everything that they know. So I have to get there in person to put a face to the name. So when I'm going in, I'm just sharing a relatable point. I found that there's relatable points, there's goals, and there's significance. Relatable points get you to the table, so I need to hit hard on that when I'm making the initial phone call. When I'm in person, we actually go get the coffee meeting, we get lunch or dinner, then we're transitioning into, okay, I wanna share some of my goals, because people will work with you based on the goals that you share. And lastly, as you're learning about their story, you're sharing bits and pieces about yours, you get to share why you're doing what you're doing. It's one thing to get to the table, it's another thing to get them to work with you, but significance creates buy-in, and that's where the opportunity is.
The other thing that you told me is that you started, what was the first unit you started with?
A 12-plex.
Tell me how those deals were structured.
Yeah, so the 12-plex, it was on the market for 561 days, and the seller listed it with seller financing.
Right.
So I wrote an offer, and what we settled on was the seller was going to finance 90%, and I essentially borrowed a hard money loan from an investor at 12% for the down payment.
What was your interest rate on that 90%?
6.
6%, you got 12% on the 10%.
Yeah.
So you're $0 out of your own pocket.
Yeah, and the deal net cash flowed a little over $800.
So that was the first deal. Let's talk about the second deal.
Yeah, the second deal was a fixer-upper 12-plex. The first one was beautiful, turnkey, phenomenal location. Second one, not so much, and that needed a lot of work. So I bought that for $680,000. The seller financed $560,000. I borrowed $125,000, which covered my down payment and my closing costs. That deal cash flowed a little over $1,200 a month, which put the total portfolio at a net around $2,000 a month in cash flow. And again, bought it for a signature.
Big question, Cody. You're super smart. Freaking old are you?
22.
Did anybody teach you this?
I didn't get it from family or friends, that's for sure.
Yeah, so you're self-taught, self-motivated. We were just at an event with Kim Kiyosaki, we were with Ken McElroy, we were with all these big names, and you're there, and people, they put you at a table to teach a lot of older people, half your age, 3/4, or sometimes a third of your age.
Yeah.
Or 2/3 of your age, or whatever that looks like. What are your plans for like the future? What do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
Yeah, so the next 5 years, I mean, this year my goal is to be able to give my mom the opportunity to retire if she wants to. And so I'm working on that right now. After that, I'll scale to the next goal. You know, I want to be a resource for other people that grew up. I grew up in a split household and quit an 11-year soccer career because it was expensive.
So were you a really good soccer player?
I don't know about that, but I was faster than everyone else.
Faster. Now,
so I could outrun everybody. I don't know that I had the technical skills.
Let's dive down that rabbit hole a little bit. How did you get faster than everybody else?
I just always kept running.
You kept running. So if you want to get good at something, it's just repetition.
Yeah.
And that's how you're getting good at seller financing. How many total units do you own right now, and how many of them are seller finance deals?
So 105, and everything I've done to this day is seller finance. So I've never had a bank loan. And back to the self-taught piece, I did have a mentor in the beginning. It was some guy I never met who messaged me on Facebook and said I should drop out of college to get my real estate license. And having never met him before, I thought that was a great idea. So I ended up dropping out of college, got my real estate license, and he coached me along on the numbers in the beginning. Come to find out he didn't own any multifamily later on, and that led down its own toxic rabbit hole. However, here today, the whole strategy is to go meet with people who have done things I haven't done, and then take advice from them and go apply it.
If you guys want to hear more about Cody and you want to get a hold of Cody because he's got a big social media profile, how do they find you?
Yeah, so I'm online on YouTube. If you want to just Google Cody Davis Real Estate, you'll find me, and you'll probably find the Biggerpockets podcast. That was the most ever watched podcast for them on their YouTube channel.
Wow. Are you serious?
Yeah.
How many people watched it?
We had over 530,000 people. If you haven't seen it, you should check it out. But I'm also on Instagram, Cody D 2020. Feel free to give it a follow and message me there.
Cody D 2020 on Instagram. Would you guys like to see this guy on a podcast, like an authentic? We're literally right now in the Belize airport. We originally planned to do something at the resort, but we're just doing an impromptu thing because he's flying out early, I'm flying out early. I wanted to get together with him. The guy's got a ton of knowledge, should inspire a ton of you. If you're young out there and you're saying, hey, I don't know what I'm doing, I don't know how to start, what do? You just start.
Yeah, got to get out there, meet with people that have done what you want to do, and make it happen.
Make the contacts, make the networks, and then if you guys want to follow him, you know how to do that. And if you want to listen to him on a podcast, we'll do a formal interview where we don't have a bunch of speakers talking over everything we're saying. I'll get a hold of him, and I'll tell you what, get started investing in real estate. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. Make sure you comment any questions that you have so that when we do interview him, that we have some good questions that you want to learn from. Any parting words for the young guys out there, or even some older people that you would tell them?
Sure. There's a lot of distractions out there. Just keep in mind, just because it makes money doesn't mean it makes sense.
Peace!